Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
Let's go back to PPC Dominator. Now, what PPC Dominator is really quickly, and here's the keywords that we transferred from our listing lightning. I'm going to leave those in place really quickly to just show you how to build a keyword campaign, and then I'll come back to this, and then I'll show you how to do some other stuff. But all right, so if you've ever used the Amazon campaign UI on Seller Central, it's pretty similar, but we've condensed it and made it, it's much quicker to build a campaign with this, a fraction of the time actually. So we're just going to go through and say campaign one. Of course, you want to name it whatever. A good practice, what we usually do is, campaign one, and then we would do keyword because it's a keyword campaign, and then we would say manual because it's a manual. I'm going to do a manual campaign. If you use this kind of naming in your campaigns, it'll help you a lot later on, just to manage and search and sift through it. So that's best practice. The other thing you can do too is, use the new portfolio, thing on Amazon. To me, the portfolio thing is kind of a waste, because I kind of just feel it's a double layer. If you just use, intelligent naming, you don't need it. Daily budget, of course, this is going to vary by every seller. For us, it's usually about $100 a day minimum when we first start out. Generally be like 200 if we're doing market research. Once again, that's going to, vary greatly by your size of Amazon account, experience, things like that. Marketplace, which marketplace that these keywords are going to come from or go to. Start dates auto-filled for you, which would be today. End date, if you're doing, say, like a Valentine's Day or something like that, you might want to end date, but generally you leave that blank. You want that campaign to keep running. Right now we're doing a manual campaign. Bid strategy, I suggest for this, you start out with down only, and then once your campaign has a decent amount of data, after like 2 weeks or more, then you try up and down. What I found is that initially, if a campaign doesn't have much data, it doesn't work very well, but once it gets more data, the up and down actually seems to work better. So we'll start with down only. Top of search page, this is if you want to increase your bid by a percentage. That will change where you're. So in other words, if you're bidding $1 and you put 50 in here, this will automatically bid up to $1.50 if you have a chance to be the highest bid for the first page. So the first result on the page for that keyword. This is set at a campaign level. In this case, I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Product page works the same way. It's if you want your product to show up higher on a product page, you can set that percentage as well. Bid Plus, we actually had this just as a stopgap because some people had this capability rolled out in their PPC account, some didn't. This is going to go away probably in a few weeks because it's no longer relevant. I think pretty much everybody's got these options now. We're doing a keyword targeting campaign. Status, we default to pause. That way you can upload this campaign and then go and look at it and make sure that it's that it's gonna or that that it produced correctly on Amazon, and then all you do is on Amazon you can go and hit enabled. I've used this tool a million times. I trust it, so I would default it to or I'd set it to enabled. Ad group, I recommend you use something pretty generic. Now the cool thing about this is actually I'll go to that here in a second. Let's see, our ad group max bid is going to be 99 cents. That's kind of a stopgap as well. If you're not setting match types, then it would default to that. But I always recommend setting match types. So this would be the ad group bid, but it actually will get overridden by the match type bids. So we have a quick question. So let's see here. Will stopping campaigns be affecting keyword rankings? So I've heard some debate on that. Stopping campaigns. So there's a couple of things that I've heard for stopping campaigns. Some people say it affects the campaign. The campaign won't perform as well, things like that. I have not seen that at all. Like I said, all I see is better and lower ACOS. So I would not, I don't think that's the case. However, let's see here. If you're talking about organically, I mean, technically it could affect you organically, but generally you're not getting ranked organically unless somebody buys a product. I mean, page views do sometimes give you a little bit of juice on the algorithm, but to me, it's not worth the amount of money that you're going to spend to not get a sale. So That's something you would have to test. In our testing, like I said, I think it's a highly effective way of doing things. Okay, so I noticed that increasing bid price will move my listing up in pages. Yep, absolutely. Your position is definitely relative to your bid. But there's, of course, it's an algorithm, just like everything. Google or Amazon looks at a lot of different data points to figure out where to actually place your ad. So bid is definitely one of the larger factors. All right, SKU. Here you would enter a single SKU or multiple SKUs if you're doing like a bunch of child items. I would just do product 1, product 2, product 3. They don't have to be child items. If you have a bunch of products that are similar products that you want to target with the same keywords, you can also include it here. Once again, this is default to enabled because it's a ad group level. This would be paused, which is at the campaign level. All right, so next we go down to our keywords. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you can get keywords. You can use our keyword tool, our Chrome extension. You can use the keywords we gave you from Listing Lightning. And then you can also use tools like Pandora, which I'm gonna create this with the actually no, I'll go ahead and do Pandora. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these, and I'm gonna use Pandora so that way you can see kind of how this works. And okay, so let's see, essential oil. In this case, you might want to go a little wider than your specific. If this was like lemongrass or whatever, you might want to go wider. That's kind of up to you. That's something you'd need to test. I'm just going to go essential oil, start really wide because I'm creating a new campaign. Say this is a new product. I want to go really wide and make sure that that I'm kind of trying to test as many keywords as possible. So this will take about 30 seconds. We're doing some really cool stuff in the background here. We're looking at your 50 top competitors. And then we're also seeing what they convert for, getting the keywords they're converting for, all kinds of other fun stuff. So I'll give it a few seconds here. In the meantime, we're also going to change. We have some cool stuff coming for this tool as well, where you'll also be able to just push a button and have it send to PPC Dominator. In the meantime, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go up here. We're going to just select all of these keywords. You can see we got 4,558 keywords. We're going to download those as a CSV file. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, so we got the CSV file here. All right, so what we're gonna do here is, because we have multiple ASINs, and these ASINs may have, they will have overlapping keywords. So here you can see some overlapping keywords. That's something else we're gonna add to this tool, so you won't have to do this manually. But what you'd wanna do here is go to, is it letting me, there we go. Enable editing. All right, so what we're going to want to do is go to the keyword list, highlight it, go to data, and then go to remove duplicates. Do that, and we're selecting column B because that's where our keywords are right here. We'll hit OK. And we're only left with like 2,800 unique keywords. So then shift control, down arrow, and then control copy to get this whole thing. I know this seems a little tedious. Like I said, we're rolling out some updates to this tool so that you won't have to do that. All right, so we got our keywords. We're going to go back to PPC Dominator. As you can see, it's saved your progress here. It's when you jump between the tools, which is kind of fun and useful. All right, so we're going to paste our keywords in there. And we got a huge list. It'll tell us how many we got. We got 2,897 keywords. Right now you're going like, well, wait a minute. I thought Amazon maxed out at 1,000 per ad group. Well, so that's a cool thing about this tool. This tool will actually separate, in this case, since we have 3,000 keywords, it'll actually separate these ad groups into sub ad groups automatically. Now, this is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to really go wide and just do, go really focused and just do a campaign with like essential oil as a broad match. That's one way you can do it. That's going to cost you more money though, because you're doing a lot more experimenting. At least this has a little bit more context. So we got our keyword list here. We got 2,897 keywords. So what we're going to want to do next, this is the other really, really cool feature about this tool, which you would have to do manually otherwise, is match type. So we're going to say broad, phrase, exact. broad bid, we're going to say 50 cents. Generally, the broad bid, you want to stay fairly low because, something like diffuser that could fire off on a lot of products. So you want to keep your broad bid pretty low. Now, this is also going to vary by, your niche and things like that. So it's, something that you need to research a little bit more. At some point, we're hopefully going to give you, recommended bids for these. But that's going to take a lot of work. The Amazon APIs on the PPC sides, are pretty hard to deal with large quantities like this. So if we can do that, we'll definitely roll that out. So phrase bid, let's do 88 cents. I already got that pre-filled, and then exact 111. Now, the reason you want to split this out is, everybody is so confused by these match types. You want to be able to test all of these. So you want to be able to test exact, phrase, and broad. What this tool will do is split these up for you automatically. So we're going to say, we want all these keywords in ad groups at 30 cents per click. We want phrase of all these at 88 cents. We want exact at $1.11. And so this is going to create 3 separate ad groups and have all these same keywords in each ad group as a different match type. This makes it really easy later on to go back and optimize it. So that's why we do that. All right, so we're pretty much done here with setting this campaign up. You'd see it was pretty quick. Like I said, doing the same thing on Amazon would take you forever, especially to do the different match types and having like these many keywords, having to break them up into separate ad groups manually. Once we got that, we hit add data. You can see here data added. You can see we got 8,740 rows. We hit download. This will take probably like 10 seconds as we compile the data. The next thing you do is you go to, you can see here, we got the file. And you'll see automatically. So you can see here we got campaign 1, and then we got AG broad. Let me show you this real quick, which is cool. So that's AG broad. That's our first ad group. And then as we continue down here, you'll see AG1 broad. So this is the second ad group that we automatically split out because we went over our 1,000 character limit. We'll keep going further down, and you will see ad group 2, which is broad match, but more than 2,000. You keep going, you'll see phrase, and then you'll see exact. So you can see here, I don't know if you've ever seen a bulk file from Amazon PPC, but this is what it looks like as a spreadsheet. So if you were to do this manually, you're talking, hours and hours of work, which we just did for you pretty quickly. Uploading this is really easy. All you do is you go to your main Amazon seller dashboard, and you just click on the PPC dashboard, and then you click on bulk uploads, and you'll see an upload thing. And then all you do is an upload button. And all you do is upload that Excel file that we created for you. So pretty simple.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.